Welcome y'all to the Blackhoof Saloon, a Wild West Exodus podcast. Mosey on up to the bar and get yourself a bottle of firewater or a glass of sarsaparilla and listen to some good old yarns about adventures of law dogs, outlaws, and weird creatures. So set a spell, water your ride or your rider, and get ready to tune up your posses. This is the Blackhoof Saloon.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, kiddos! Today, the boys at the Blackhoof Saloon have a special gift for you under the tree. So, put down your sarsaparilla and pick up some eggnog and give it a listen. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone! Ho, ho, ho!
Ho, 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 all you Kringles out there, and welcome to the Blackhoof Saloon Wild West Exodus podcast. This is a special Christmas episode that me and the guys got together. This is Eric here, and who else do I have with me in this holiday joyous season?
You got Brian, the Jedi Powell, down here in Houston, where we actually have 50-degree weather today.
Yeah, no snow, lucky.
And Tom, where all we have here in Philadelphia is rain and ice.
Oh, well, you got part of the winter. You got the ice part. So, yeah, we're here today, and we decided to just jump on spontaneous and do kind of it's the holiday season. We wanted to do something for Christmas for everybody, give you guys a little bit of a gift, and maybe just talk about all stuff Christmas. We're just going to ramble on a little bit and sneak this one out before Christmas, hopefully. But let's just get into some of our basic rambling that we do. I'm going to try and do as little editing as I can on this, so you guys are going to get all the juicy screw-ups that we do, probably.
We don't screw up. Come on.
Well, I mispronounce every other word. But let's start off with... what the heck were we going to talk about? I'm going to edit this out because I'm blanking. Oh my God.
I thought you weren't going to edit.
I'm already editing.
Christmas minis.
Yes.
Well, okay. So why don't we say what we've been up to? Okay, so there's a new paint contest on the Dark Council right now. So, a lot of people are getting ready to start painting their stuff, I think, at the end of the month, and then going to have a 3 or 4 week long contest of painting faces. I think we're calling it the Face Off. Eric, do you know who was organizing it? Was it
that is going to be Cowboy Gene is organizing this paint contest.
Yes, right.
You jumped in, I know. I'm thinking of jumping in, and Tom, you're thinking of jumping in too.
I am.
I formally jumped in. I'm painting one of the Dark Nation guys after you guys gave me a kind of a push to do him over some of the other guys I was thinking of, and I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not going to even try since we're not editing today. He's the Firewing guy from the Dark Nation. So,
what are you thinking, Tom?
I'm going to go with the Wraith, but I think I might do something a little different with him. A little out of character for him, but in character for me. Crap, I just broke his hand off.
Oh, we got some super glue. I don't know for sure if I've decided yet if I'm even going to have time for it, but I was thinking of doing either Jadzia or one of the creations from the Dixie Resurrection box set. It's the guy that looks like Trapjaw from He-Man. I've always liked that model since that box set came out, so I'm thinking about doing that one.
I think you should.
I have so many faces that have already more than primed that I had to go with something I hadn't even in touch. So, like all of my Dixie Resurrections have all got some base coating on it already, so they're ineligible for the contest. One of the stipulations was you had to be able to post a picture of it primed. at the beginning of the contest.
Okay.
So, those who haven't done so yet, I think this video should be up just before the beginning of that contest, which is, I think he said, on the 26th. We can start painting.
Week of Christmas and stuff. Okay.
So basically the end of the week of Christmas. So I'm going to actually try something a little different with this. I'm going with the gray primer, and I'm usually a black primer guy. I was like, hey, let me try something a little bit different because of the flames that'll be throughout on this guy. I was like, okay, let me try a little different. I'm going to go with...
It'll help them pop more.
Yeah, I'm going to just try some new things with it. Since it's a contest, I was like, hey, maybe I can try something different, and maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Who knows? But I'll give it a try.
Okay, something else that we got going on in the community for this holiday season as a kind of a gift to all the members in the Dark Council. Community member Sam put together a little awards thing for all the releases from 2019 called the Golden Spur Awards, and a bunch of the community members, different war hosts and other people that are very active in the community, have put together little videos based on, he put together like categories and had it out there for everybody to go to and vote for who their favorite model was from deadliest model, or they had, what else did they have? Heavy hitter. And he's going to give links to all these little videos everybody did, I think, later this week. I think it was going to be just before Christmas, so everybody can go check those out. So that should be kind of neat.
Yeah, so we did our videos, and so it was kind of neat that, one of the reasons we got together today was to finalize our video, because we also, as a group, did a video. Yeah. So some individuals, and there's a couple of groups, I guess celebrity groups in this community that are also doing a group announcer position, just kind of like when you see in the big Hollywood award ceremonies. So each of us did a little video.
We had to get gussied up for it a little bit. We're not video guys. Right. We're sound guys.
That's right. You're going to get to see the Blackhoof Saloon in action.
We need to get green screens or something so we can put the saloon in the background.
Oh yeah, that's fun. That'd be a fun idea.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing that. Like, I'm gonna crash course in how to do editing and green screening, and I was gonna throw on a hooded jacket and be Jedrick Powell in front of the Blackhoof Saloon giving the award, and then I realized that's a whole lot of work.
But that's
I didn't have time. They wanted those videos pretty quick, so in an effort to not delay it any longer with my lack of technical skills, group effort, Eric helped out.
All right. Well, and the other reason we got together in this impromptu recording is we wanted to do kind of a special Smoke-Wagon Showdown with all the Christmas models that came out in the last couple of years. Just a little treat. These are models that come out, through the month of December, and then they usually go away till the next December. Well, they have so far, because like this past December, we had a new one come out, and we got to see the previous two. If you missed out on it last year, some people either weren't in the game or they just, for some reason or another, missed it. We're able to pick it up this year. So that's kind of why we're here today. We wanted to just do a very open chat in the Smoke-Wagon Showdown of the 3 Christmas models. So why don't we get into that, guys, and we can just start going over those for a special gift for this holiday season. 'Twas the Night Before Exodus Christmas by Sam Burridge. Read by our very own Mary Kay.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the West, lawmen and outlaws were taking a rest. Watchers were all hibernating in their pods. Even the Hex was in the land of Nod. The natives were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of the Great Spirit danced in their heads. And Wyatt in his long johns and Doc in his cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the veranda there arose such a clatter, Doc sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window he flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-blown sand gave the luster of midday to the Arizona land. When what to Doc's wandering eyes should appear but Dr. Carpathian with reanimated reindeer. Those terrible animals, so mechanical and strong. Doc knew in a moment something was wrong. More ugly as vultures, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Slasher, now Smasher, now Stamper and Viper, on Portent, on Heartbreak, on Bomber and Biter, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now smash away, smash away, smash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, they threw it to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of weapons, and Carpathian too. When in a crescendo Doc heard from the roof the stamping and pawing of each mighty hoof. As Doc drew his gun and he was turning around, down the chimney Carpathian came with a bound. He was dressed in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with RJ and soot. A bundle of guns he had flung on his back, and he looked like a devil just opening his pack. His eyes, how they glittered, his grimace was scary. His cheeks were pale, this was no festive fairy. His mouth was drawn up in a rictus-like grin, and the mutton chops on his cheek was as black as sin. The stump of a cigar he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke, it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a devilish face and a bionic eye that would glow bright red when someone was about to die. Fresh ammo for Wyatt, bourbon for Doc. Even Jesse James got something in his sock. All of the presents to give a cowpoke some hope, although it may be a reach when he gave Ike Clanton some soap. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. Then kicking the door down into the night as he goes, he didn't give a fig if Wyatt and Doc froze. He sprang to his sleigh all shiny and bright, and they all took off as their bum was alight. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Wild Westmas to all, and to all a good fight.
All right. So what would happen if the three Christmas models had to go showdown? So the very first Christmas model was Kyle, the red and white. So it's a Kyle the black Christmas model. It was the first one, and really it was so cool that they did this that it was kind of exciting. So Kyle the black was actually a nod to one of the guys working in Outlaw Miniatures. And so they created this model on for someone who worked in the office, who he worked for Battle Foam. And while the creators of Outlaw or Wild West Exodus were working on the game, Kyle would walk in and say something, like, "Oh, that's lame." And so he basically got like this nickname from them. He was like the black hole of fun because he would just come in there and suck all the joy out of what these guys were working on. So as a nod to him, they created Kyle the Black.
Okay.
And I remember the first time Outlaw Miniatures brought me out to Adepticon. Yeah, I met Kyle. It was funny because it was like, dude, you do look like. He didn't have the little creepy tentacle arms and buzzsaws, but the actual face of the model does kind of favor him, so it was kind of funny. So that's a little background for Kyle the Black. So Kyle the Red and White.
Who was the
still
second?
kind of got an angry face. So it's kind of like kind of expanding on the whole Grinch-esque nature of the original Kyle the Black. And the neatest thing about that model was, do you remember he's holding a Union ship?
Yeah, that's right. I remember when they kind of revealed him and everybody got excited because he's like, oh, he's got a dystopian war ship in his sack.
Right. It was really cool. And then the other coolest part is he has a sidekick, and which kind of clues in when I said Grinch, because the sidekick is a canine with that very Grinch-esque antler attached to the top of his head. So it kind of looks like the dog from, the Grinch Stole Christmas. So kind of neat. So Kyle the Red and White is a boss model for the Enlightened, and he is tainted, and he comes in at 180 to join your team or to lead your team.
Yep.
All right. And pretty sure he's the same. There's no neat twists or adds to his Christmas model.
No, I think we mentioned this when in the last episode in the news. Me and you were talking about we originally thought these were a little bit different themed, kind of towards Christmas, but basically it was just their cars. They kind of visually changed them, so they went in with the Christmas theme. It's the same model. It's just kind of like an alternate version of them, just based on looks.
And of course, each of them catch the one new write-up on their special rules, which is festive, unique character.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically says you can't bring their, Christmas version and their real version in the same costume. So Kyle the Black comes in with 6 fortune, which is huge for any boss, really. He's just under, Custer's abnormal, large fortune. 6 fortune is going to be very useful in an enlightened posse. Now jumping into his cylinder wheel, we're going to have quickness 4, mind of 6, aim of 4, grit of 7, fight of 6, and he comes in at a limit of 3.
So yeah, like we said, same model as his normal. He's got a good number for grit. He's more of a melee guy, having the higher fight. But it's that 6 fortune too. That's a big thing, and we're gonna come back to that in a little bit.
Yeah, so he has an aim of 4, but he has no weapons that he can throw or anything.
Yeah.
So he has a servo claws. These are the 2. His normal version has 2. The Christmas one only has 1 on the model, but I don't think they changed the stats for it.
No. Yeah.
So it's the magic of the holidays. But they have specials are brutal and special. So we've talked about special. It basically means you can only use it once per turn. They crit with a lethal. They have a 1-inch range, pierce 2, and an ROA of 2.
Yep.
And he's got a meat cleaver, no specials, but it crits brutal. Range is base to base, pierce of -2, and ROA of 2. Then you have Mortician's Blade. They have parry and decapitate on a crit, a pierce 2, and ROA of 1.
And that one's also a base to base.
Right. But it does give him the ability to parry melee attacks, him being a guy, having that one access point for him to bring up a parry does help when he's hand to hand and someone's got something that can back at him. His common rule, he's got metal, target priority, and durable. So again, note, he's got that 6 fortune, but does not normally have largesse.
Yep.
So he ain't sharing.
No, he's stingy during the doesn't he know it's a holiday. He's supposed to share. I guess not. He is, with the enlightened. So
yeah.
All right. So special rules. Let's go over those. Some of these we've talked about plenty of times. So he has, being enlightened, he has Carpathogen. So I think the last episode we were talking about this with Eiffel. If he has models next to him from enlightened that are 3 inches away, when the last guy goes down, he can choose to spend a fortune, to roll a die, D5 of them come back. So he's basically, putting them back together. He's reanimating them for a little bit. He also has Death Dealer. So this is one we haven't encountered yet. So while this unit is engaged, each successful hit caused by this unit on an enemy unit they are engaged with causes a further automatic hit on that unit. Automatic hits like these and from qualities like Brutal cannot generate further hits from the Death Dealer rule. So basically he's getting an automatic hit. And then he has Meat Shields, and this is a reaction. When this unit fails a grit check, you can pick a friendly model within 3 inches of him to fail the grit check instead, as if they were pulled in front of him at the last minute, stupidly sacrificing themselves in the process. Models affected by Meat Shields cannot benefit from Sawbone's special rule. So he's pulling somebody to take the hit for him. He has Treasure Hunter. We all know what Treasure Hunter. It adds +1 adventure card to a player's hand as long as that model's still around. He has Hardy, so the unit may re-roll grit checks. And you already mentioned, so being a holiday model, he's going to have the festive unique character. That is Kyle the Red and White. I think he's a neat model. He came out, so he was the first festive model they released. That was 3 years ago. And I remember when they first released this, I ordered him up right away because I wanted him so bad. I thought it was neat that he came with different bases, that when you built him, you can either put him on it was a large base with the dog, so more of like a showpiece, more of the hobby aspect of the model. Or you could actually do it, on his regular size base and then keep the dog separate. So more of the gamer type modeling. Yeah, and
so we can't talk about him without talking about his theme posse. He comes with the Meat Grinder theme posse. It's an enlightened force instead of a faction posse. Kyle the Black may take this theme. Kyle gains the largest common rule. So if he runs in a faction posse, he's keeping his fortune all to himself.
Yep.
If he runs Meat Grinder, he gains largesse and is able to share with his posse. If all slots are filled, so all 6 slots are filled with 1 or more units in the posse, then all units in the posse gain durable.
Okay, so they get to ignore one -1 piercing from somebody shooting at them or hitting them, and yeah, that's a nice ability.
So, yeah. So the first the first 4 slots are all the same, and you'll probably understand what the Meat Grinder is. So the first 4 slots are up to 2 enlightened construct units. So as long as they have the construct trait in their trait list, you can take up to 2. So that's 1 or 2, depending on how expensive you want your posse. And then it doesn't everything's the same, all 4 slots. And then when you get to the 5th slot, it's an enlightened construct unit and or a unit with the creation rule.
Okay.
And then the 6th one is a repeat of the 5th.
Okay.
So construct heavy with the ability to then go grab a couple of creations at the end.
Yeah, it's a lot of dispendable dudes that he can pull in front of him, and yeah, it'll be a fun list. All right, so that was Kyle. Since we got 3, let's go ahead and jump into the second Christmas model that came out last year, and this is Krampus Rex, who is a model that they made for the Hex. Now, Krampus Rex, his regular model was, what was it, Brian? I'm blanking. Carcosa Rex.
Carcosa Rex.
Thank you, Tom. He's a boss, Hex Beast, so he's got the Beast keyword, male, Carcosa. I guess if I looked at the card, I would have saw that. Tainted. And he comes in at 185 points. He has a fortune of 3, and he is also unique, like Kyle was. Okay, let's go with his gun chamber. So he has a quick of 6, a mind of 7, very high, but it's typical for Hex. He has an aim of 5, a grit of 7, a fight of 7, and a limit of 3. So he's got a couple stats there that are pretty high. High grit.
He's
high fight.
He's all good.
Yeah.
And he does have two weapon options. He's got the Juiced Axe, which has overcharged as its base power, and then can decapitate at crit. It has base to base range. It has a pierce of 3 and an ROA of 1. And if he needs to reach out and get you, he's going to use what's called the Nightbringer, which is a linked brutal with a crit of lethal. That's a 15-inch range he's reaching out to you at, and a pierce minus 3 and an ROA of 3. So
that's a nice weapon.
Potential of 4 hits.
Yeah, and having the linked, really helps hurt.
Hope you get those 4 because you're going to be some re-rolls there.
All right. Common rules. What kind of common rules does he have? You got this up, Tom?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
He's got metal, quick in the dead, largesse, unstoppable, and durable.
All right. What was unstoppable again, Brian?
Oh, that's a new one. So it wasn't actually in our common rules episode.
Let's see if I can find it. Unstoppable. This model may make ram actions even though it does not have the vehicle trait. Furthermore, he ignores heavy quality for any weapons he carries. Well, he doesn't have any heavy weapons, so he's all good.
Right. So this, I guess, is because of the big horns that he's got, the big ram's horns.
That makes sense. He can ram you.
A little bit of fluff, I guess.
Yeah. It kind of goes with him thematically.
But it doesn't have horns to hit you with.
All right. Special rules. So let's take a look at his special rules. So he has Dark Council. So Dark Council, you may deploy a single hexalith during deployment for each unit with this rule in your force. For 1 action point, this unit may select a tainted unit, friend or foe, within 8 inches. That target unit must make a mind check. If the check is passed, nothing happens. If it fails, a model in that unit, or the entire unit, if friendly, is compelled. Hey, your favorite there, Tom. You're compelling them. And must immediately make an action of the unit's choice. This is a free action which cannot be focused or use fortune. For the duration of this action, the compelled models count as a friendly to this unit. You cannot compel models with automata, I'm struggling saying that tonight, structure, and or legendary traits. So we've covered Dark Council before. It was when we talked about the Third Man. A lot of the Hex guys, the bigger dudes, your bosses and faces will have this. So it's kind of a nice manipulation ability. Let's see. He also has counterintelligence. So for each unit in the force that has this rule, once both sides have deployed, but before any trail finder moves have been made, the player take it in turns, initiative order, to redeploy a single unit within their deployment zone if they wish. Each additional instance of counterintelligence in force allows an additional unit to redeploy. Each unit may only be redeployed once. So it's just a way that once people get set up, you can kind of be like, nah, I don't want any of that guy over there across from me, and you can kind of move them. Or maybe strategically you kind of throw your opponent off, and then you just reset up with what you really wanted to do. Primal Urge is his next special rule. It's a special combat action that once this action has been made by this unit, any friendly Carcosa units gain +1 to their limit attribute for the duration of the turn while within 8 inches of him. This does not stack with any other limit bonuses. Furthermore, the unit's force may always include an additional profane nest strategic unit for their appropriate points cost. Nests are placed using the initial deployment special rule. And then he has Indomitable. Once per turn, when the unit is declared as an initial target of an attack, the unit can take a mind check, and if passed, may remove any negative conditions that are applied to it at that time. If failed, the conditions apply as normal. And then lastly, he also has the festive unique character. So you can only run one Rex in your posse. So that's Krampus Rex right there. He's very hexy. He's got all those kind of trademark hex abilities like the Dark Council and
Hey, Eric, I don't know if I nodded off or if you missed it, but he's also got Death Deal.
Did I miss Death Deal? Oh, yeah, I did. You know why I missed it? Because they got so much squeezed on the back of his card.
Yep.
That went right over it. So, yeah, he's like Kyle. He's got Death Dealer, too. So he causes the automatic hit.
Well, it says an automatic hit for each hit. Is that right?
Yep, it's gross.
Yeah, like that sounds really, really nasty.
Yeah.
It is. For him, it's actually even better than the other one, than Kyle, because of he's got a higher rate of attack.
Yeah, with that gun with being linked and brutal and lethal and yeah.
Oh no, it's just his axe actually. So no, he's not as good.
Oh, is it just with melee?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kyle's is a little better because he's got the extra hit on it.
Okay.
So it's good, but he doesn't have brutal on it either, so it's not like he's picking up extra hits in addition. So it just does. It gives him an extra hit, but not
extra
too
hit.
much. If they're Death Dealer on someone who's hitting a bunch of times, it's going to get gross.
Yeah.
I'm having a problem.
His posse is it can't be used because there's no Carcosas.
Oh, that's right. No Carcosas yet.
Well, that's a point in favor of Kyle then.
Yeah.
He can't really play team just yet.
So he's going to be more of like your second boss that just kind of helps out.
Right.
Okay.
Well, he brings the pain. He can bring the pain. He can bring, he's got good playability. He just doesn't have a way of bringing his theme yet, and thus doing, his Carcosa work. He's going to be using another posse's resources, or he's just going to be a generic posse. I mean, he can bring a posse. It's just going to be a generic posse.
Yeah.
We don't really have an idea of what to expect from his set, because it hasn't even been teased yet.
No. I mean, I've seen him run with Wendigos, which are just as scary.
That's the only. I think that's maybe the only.
Is that Carcosa
other
too?
model with a Carcosa trait.
Okay. Well, that would explain why I see him with them all the time. They're his buddies. All right, we have one last Christmas model to go over here, and that is this year's new Christmas model. And this one is for Outlaws, and it's actually for the Conquistadors. We have Man, how do you say that? That's a tongue twister for me, Brian.
Madre Navidad.
Ooh, that was good.
7 years of Spanish. That's what I got out.
See, my dummy self took French. Look where it's gotten me.
Mother Christmas.
So, as we said, she's our special Christmas model that everybody kind of had a little bit of a say in this year. And Boss, she's mounted. She is Outlaws, like I said. Human, female, priest, conquistadors, blackhoof, and mercenary. So she's got a lot of keywords on her there. She's coming in at 180 points for her. Fortune of 3, unique. Let's look at her stats. She has a quick of 7, which she's the fastest one of the Christmas models. Yeah, she's on that RJ infused horse. She has a mind of 6. Her aim is 5, a grit of 7, fight of 6, and a limit of 3. So she's got good stats, just like her normal version. She's very tough, so it'll be hard to deal with her, and she's very fast. So what kind of weapons does she got there?
She has the Blessed Bomb of Antioch, which is an engulf heavy blast special that has a crit brutal.
Okay.
And then she's not throwing it very far, 6 inches, but it has a pierce of 5.
Holy cow. That's high.
And she's only throwing one at a time, thankfully.
Yeah, with the special. But I tell you what, if she throws that into a unit of hands or support where you got multiple models, and with that blast, man, you're going to be wiping out dudes.
Yep.
Yeah. I have played against her real version, and dude, talk about sweating when that bomb gets thrown at you, because you're like, oh, here it comes. And every time the guy I was playing threw the bomb, it scattered away from me.
Oh my God.
It was, I know he felt bad because he could not get the bomb off. And I mean, it was actually, I was using Jedrick, and he threw that bomb at Jedrick like at least 3 times, and every time it would just scatter the wrong direction. It was like, oh, I was just like,
man, that'd be frustrating.
I think he actually got it to hit in, get to me that one time out of the 3 times he threw it at me, and I saved. So he was like, he was frustrated. It's like the bomb never went off where he wanted it to. And then when it did, he was like, no, you saved it.
So what's her other ranged weapon she's got there?
She's got the golden pistol, which is a repeated weapon for most of the conquistadors. It has revolver fan, so she can double her rate of attack. It's got ammo clip and close work. Range is 10 inches. It has a pierce of 2 and an ROA of 1.
So you're almost always going to be, if you're going to use this, revolver fan it.
Can't always do it. You can only use that once per activation.
Yeah.
But, if
you're going to use it, you might as well.
Special
yeah.
And want to throw that bomb, you may not be using that often anyway,
Yeah.
Her last weapon is a melee weapon. It's the Shield of Moreno. and it has parry, so she's able to defend herself when she's engaged. That has 0 range. It has a Pierce of 0 and a ROA of 1.
So it's, more of a defensive thing.
Yeah. And it looks cool.
That's the important part.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about style. All right, Tommy, what we got for common rules?
Metal, largesse, moving target, and unstoppable.
Okay. So she can do some ram action. She can also, because she's on that big old iron horse, Blackhoof, she's got
right?
moving target. Yeah, I did say that one right.
After getting it wrong.
Yeah, I caught myself. I knew I said it wrong right as soon as I said it.
All right, her special rules. She has compel. So this is the very similar to Dark Council, except she's not getting Hexalith, and she can do any target instead of just tainted target. So for 1 action point, this unit may select a target unit, friend or foe, within 8 inches. That targeted unit must make a mind check. If the check is passed, nothing happens. If the check fails, a model in that unit, or the entire unit, if it's friendly, is compelled and must immediately make an action of this unit's choice. This is a free action which cannot be focused or use fortune. For the duration of this action, the compelled models count as friendly to this unit. You cannot compel models with the automata, structure, or legendary traits.
Yeah, this is Tom's new favorite one.
Unfortunately, Jedrick did get compelled a couple of times in that fight.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so Fate Weaver is her next power. Once during the activation, Madre can spend an action point to look at the top card from either of their opponents' adventure deck or action deck. They may discard that card or return it to the top of the deck.
That's huge. That is really huge.
Huge. So you're pretty much going to at least do that once a turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also see that this may be something that some people may forget to do. Right?
Yeah.
You get so tied up in the action, you forget you could literally force good cards out of your opponent's action deck.
Yeah.
Or 1 action point. It's huge. Okay. Inspirational. Any friendly unit within 6 inches may re-roll a single dice roll in their activation. This, of course, excludes Madre. She can't inspire herself. Very good. Then she gets rapid because she's on a Blackhoof, which means she can focus move actions for no cost. So she gets free moves. She gets invigorate. So during this unit's activation, she can spend an action point to nominate a friendly unit in line of sight within 12 inches. And that unit gains +1 modifier to their limit this turn. It's huge. So she could throw these out to her other units, and she normally has the other Blackhoof conquistadors in her posse.
Yeah.
Because why not? And throwing those guys extra limit, that's big. She carries her last power is called Team Player. This unit may replace its boss trait for face trait. It no longer counts as a boss unit and loses the largesse rule. If it may no longer take its own posse, but may be included in a posse as a face.
So you can run her with Ponce. Put her in with Ponce as a face. A nice
but
little...
she's a mercenary. You can actually run her with Jesse James.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Didn't even think of that. And then we mentioned she's festive, so only 1 of her. That was the Christmas models. Did you want to cover any of her posse? I mean, she does come with her own posse set.
Her posse set. She comes with 3 other mounted conquistadors. So they're all mounted. They all have, the good speed, and all of those others, they all have teamwork. So
That's
she's
right.
a chain. Her posse is basically a chain reaction posse where you can literally all of them go in one turn, and it's like, so you want to plan for that, because you don't want to be out activated. But now that you can bring two posses, I think you can make it effective. So her theme posse is the Faithful of Castilla, and it's an outlaw / order / warrior nation force, which is huge. I mean, the conquistadors are kind of neat as outlaw posses because they also, both the conquistador bosses, theme posses, Ponce de Leons and Madres, can work in the order, which most posses can't. So it's nice to see that they have some kind of link between the two of them, that they actually will join, and also Warrior Nation, which is odd that they're running around on RJ Blackhoofs. So I will likely not have my Conquistador with RJ. I'll throw in some different energy source just so it doesn't look weird running with my orders,
Yeah.
And her posse, if the boss and at least 3 slots contain at least 1 unit in each, then all the units in the posse ignore attribute penalties for the stun and disordered conditions. So the main thing to that is if she brings her 3 trusted conquistador mounts, the whole posse will end up getting to ignore stun and disordered conditions. So you don't have the negative modifiers, basically.
They still count as being stunned or whatever.
Considered.
Yeah.
Right. You just don't have the negative effects of having to roll with the deficit.
Yeah.
So the first 3 slots are a mounted conquistador face unit. The 4th slot is a unit with the conquistador trait. 5th and 6th follow suit as well.
Okay.
So
pretty basic posse.
Easy to build.
Very little.
Yeah.
There. So one of the reasons I think we see this way is because there's only 2 conquistador boxes.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of extra, there's no hands, there's no support units. They're all named faces. So both of the 2 boxes and the 2 posses are very limited. Bring a conquistador.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what you get.
Yeah.
Hers is a little bit of variation because she can bring the mounted ones, or she has to bring the mounted ones first versus the other. So if you want versatility, you want to bring them in a outlaw and just use the outlaw, faction.
Yeah.
Then you can, if you want, right? The downside is some of the conquistadors aren't mercenaries, so you may lose them to be able to bring into your outlaw group.
Yeah,
so.
That's right. All right. Well, I hope you guys. That was all the Christmas models, you guys, that we have so far. It's just a little special smoke wagon treat for you guys for Christmas to go over these guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said earlier, we just kind of spontaneously decided to jump on and start rambling on about these characters. And but that's all we wanted to do. Trying to rush to get this out for you guys to listen to during the holiday season. And but before we get out of here and end this for tonight, real quick, you guys, do you guys have any Christmas holiday wish items? Tom, I already know what you're gonna say because.
Else then.
But yeah, you guys got any Christmas wishes for this year?
So, unrelated to this, I'd like to get the Fog and Friction game.
Okay. So, you're hoping to find that in your stocking this year?
Well, my kids are like, Dad, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, go get me this game. And they're like, oh, we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, that sometimes doesn't work. Yeah, I told my wife, hey, hey, here's the Wallace Exit things I want to get. And she was like, oh, I already spent money on you. You're not getting it. Oh.
Well, I told her, or get me a gift certificate to my local game store. I've asked for that for the last 4 years in a row. Still haven't gotten it.
Yeah, I think there's some kind of unwritten, wife conspiracy going on here.
I believe you are right.
So basically, I'm left to any of the gift card monies that I may get from those outside this household
to get your wish
will
list.
likely be what I would pick up my wish list. Which there are two posses that I think are at the top of my list right now, and that would be the Portal Vanguard, because I do need those two new Corollis that show up in there. Unfortunately, it does hit that one that I got all those others painted, so I don't know what I'll do with those.
You get 2 more portals too.
I do get the clear portals, but I prefer the all shard portals with the cool all shard base that we see on her legendary back. So, I mean, actually, I would prefer a bunch more of those. The clear ones I will use literally for all the other portal makers if I ever play any of the other portal jumpers. It's just I prefer the original because of the base, right?
Mm-hmm.
The bottom of the portal is that very rune-crusted generator. So I kind of like that part of keeping the old one in play. So, and I've got 4 of the original ones. So,
okay,
I looked at a bunch of the clear ones, but I like those.
So I do have a posse also on my wish list. I want to get the new Outlaw one that just came out, the Only God Forgives one. There's a lot of models in there that I can put here and there in different spots in different Outlaw posses, and it'll give me more choices, more variety, depending on kind of theme-wise. What do I want to do with this posse? Well, it'll give me more choices. This model will fit here to do this objective, that kind of thing. I like having the choices, and it's one of the things I like about the Outlaws. There's so many choices. You can kind of build different types of posses, so that's probably the big one on my list.
Yeah, that was the other posse that I was looking forward to. So, yeah. Of the two, I was going to pick that one up.
Well, all right. I think that's going to about do it for us for this special episode that we just decided to throw together. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and contact us at all our internet web things, send us emails or check us out on Facebook. We're always, lurking in there. But yeah, that's going to about do it. We're going to go ahead and get out of here for the holiday. And all 3 of us want to wish everybody happy holidays. And we hope you find all those goodies under the tree that you guys are longing for. And if you guys don't hear from us in the next 2 weeks, we will talk to you in 2020. So we're starting a new decade. So remember, guys, to always ride with the sun at your back and always roll those big crits. This is Eric saying take it easy and happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays, everybody. Try to avoid that Krampus Rex showing up at your house. Have a good one.
Thanks for stopping by the Blackhoof Saloon, y'all. We hope you enjoyed your visit. Feel free to get a hold of us with comments or questions via the interwebs and shoot us a telegraph at blackhoofsaloon@gmail.com. You can also find us on the Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Music for the podcast was provided for use by Ross Bugden and can be found at one of his YouTube channels, Ross Bugden Music or Ross Bugden Composer. Until your next visit, ride with the sun at your back, and always roll those big crits.
Don't you talk to strangers?
Depends on how strange the stranger is.
Wonderful sense of humor you have. And you have a marvelous mind. And the other parts ain't bad either.
Just think of it. Last week I've been dancing with Natalia Makarova. And today I'm in a steam room with a lady pig.
Yes. And isn't it heaven?
Don't think heaven is this warm. It's more like the other place.
If you're warm, maybe you're overdressed.
No, I'm fine.
Maybe I'm overdressed.
That's what I'm leaving.
Oh, sweetie, you just got here. Please.
You don't understand. I really can't stay.
It's cold outside.
I've got to go away.
It's cold outside.
This evening has been...
Lucky that I hold your hands. They're cold as ice. How beautiful. What's your
My
hurry?
father will be pacing that floor.
Don't be such a terrible fool. Oh, beautiful. What's the hurry?
Maybe just a little while more.
Do that and I'll unlock the door.
Coffee at home.
Baby, it freeze out there.
Say, let me go.
Baby, you cough and you sneeze out there.
Really grand. But
How can you do this thing to me? Oh, beautiful. What's the matter?
please, there will be plenty implied.
I know.
I really can't stay.
Hold out.
But it's cold.
Boy, he's really good, that Rudolph Nurey. You know, I should really learn to pronounce his name.
Don't bother now. After this show, he'll probably change it.